raindrops and roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with string. These are the few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses and blue satin lashes, snowflakes that sit on my nose and my lashes, silver white winter that turns into spring. Come on! These are a few of my favorite things. So I wasn't expected to sing, right? And all of you were singing in your heart, but not with me. I am Vani Kabir, the modern Sufi. That's what happens to you in life. It grabs you by your foot and it trips you over almost everything. So I'll tell you a funny story from yesterday. I went to a salon and I told them that I need a beautiful blow dry because I want to look pretty for the event tomorrow. So I walk up to this gentleman and I tell him this is what I want, don't condition my hair because they're really long and they become limpy. And he just goes ahead and does the same thing that I asked him not to do. And he asked the pedicurist to come and blow dry my hair. So I tell him that why don't you bloody call the guard outside to blow my hair because you're asking a pedicurist to do the same thing. So that was something that I really did not expect. But here I am looking pretty, standing tall right in front of you. My life is a choice series of the unexpected. When I say choice series of the unexpected, I really mean that everything that has happened in my life, I was never prepared for it. I was born a writer. My education led me to being a senior creative director, and my life led me to be a divorce monk. When my marriage ended, I actually thought that the worst is over. The thoughts about my marriage go back, and it was a fairy tale. I was 19 years old, I fell in love with this guy, and he was handsome and smart and witty, and the whole thing happened in a total Bollywood style. I ran away from my family, I left a note in my denim, and with the 250 rupees that my mother gave me, and I said, I'm going away with this guy because you're never going to approve of anything that I did. That beautiful Bollywood style marriage ended in the most villainous style. I remember the day when I was thrown out of that house. I remember the day when I had to figure out what now am I supposed to do. I remember the day when I walked towards a new house which was rented at that time. I had no money. I had very limited means of survival, and Kabir was holding my hand and we were looking at that house which was the first floor, and I have this knee-jerk reaction. I have this knee-jerk reaction thinking that, oh my God, everything is so uncertain. What am I going to do? How am I going to live? Because everything that I knew does not exist anymore. And the known devil is a better devil. I don't know how many devils are going to be out there. So I might as well go back to the person that I once loved and who never decided to love me back. But still, that option was more choosing and soothing to me. Then I thought about the 8 years that I had spent in that marriage. The trauma, the abuse, the sleepless nights, the wet pillows, when I used to lock myself in the washroom and cry for hours, the blue and black beaten up body, and so many more things. And I decided to bid adieu to that relationship and walk into my new home. And I bet to myself and to every one of you that none can expect that happening. I never expected that to happen to me. I resurrected myself as Vani Kabir because after the divorce you have to change your name, and I decided to take upon my son's name because he still is the only man that I trust in my life. He still is the only relationship that I'm proud to call mine, and I know that that relationship is never, ever, ever, ever going to change. So here I am, Vani Kabir, standing in front of you, the modern Sufi, a divorce monk. And today, when people look at me, they tell me, oh my God, how well have you planned your life after divorce? And I'm in splits. I'm in splits, I'm dying inside, and I'm laughing that how can somebody ever plan the unexpected? Can you? Can any one of you? As I progressed, so I progressed from being divorced to being depressed to being in debt to being close to death. So that was my progression. All the D's in one line. Yeah. So that happened, and I was really vulnerable, and for some odd reason I thought that marriage is the only solution to all my problems. And everyone around me used to think that that is the only solution to all your problems. You need to get married again, you need to find another guy. So, breaking all the norms, I started dating people, and when I started dating people, I lost one mother-in-law and I gained 5 in my society. So I have 5 mother-in-laws right now, people. Anyone who thinks that one mother-in-law is dangerous, you're wrong. I have 5. As I progressed into these really bad relationships, one after the other, I started meeting men who wanted to share the bed, but didn't want to share the life. Who wanted to be my partner, but didn't want to be a father to my son. Who wanted to take me out, be an arm candy to them because I'm pretty and I'm intelligent and I'm smart, but they didn't want to bring responsibility to the same table they chose to eat at. And all of those men were the people who thought that I was the reason for my divorce. As a lot of men and women in our culture do think about that. So came a final evening when I bid adieu to that relationship also, and I told him to sort of and I told him to go away, and I came back home and I was sulking and I was crying and I was feeling miserable. I was feeling a fool of myself that why on earth do I choose to love the wrong person again? We all have those feelings, right? So I decided that I'm going to sit out with a cup of coffee and relax my mind and calm myself down with all these emotional turbulence that I'm going through right now. My phone rang, and it was a mother from the moms group that I know. I had never met her, I had never spoken to her before. Her son and Kabir used to go in the same school, so we used to meet at PTMs and say, hi, how are you? And that's about it. And then the message that came to me read, I am miserable, I need a lawyer, I need your advice. My God knows, and all my demons know, how deep in the dungeon I was that evening. How cryful I was, how insane I felt, how cheated and let down I felt because I let my parents down yet another time, because there was yet another relationship that I really wanted to work in my life and it didn't. And there comes this message of this woman who wants to talk about it. I pick up the phone and I call her and I say, hey, how can I help? And she's crying and sobbing on the phone, and she's saying that she's had a miserable fight with her husband and she's left the house with the younger one while the older one is still with the father. I felt an enormous amount of pain inside me. Enormous amount of pain. It was like somebody digging my heart with a heel. That's how I felt. And I said, I'm coming to help you. Where are you? So she told me that she's at a hotel lobby which is next to her house, because it was 8 or 8:30 p.m. in the night, and it was winter night, and in Gurgaon things get scary. So I went there and I spoke to her, and I realized how many of us are living under this so-called societal pressure. How many of us are living our lives which are fake? How many of us tell ourselves each day to curb ourselves down just because we want to prove something else to the society? She was doing the same. She was talking about the children, she was talking about her mother-in-law, how her father-in-law is going to feel, how the husband's going to feel, how the husband's going to manage the house when she's not there, and so many more reasons. But none of those reasons were about herself. None of those reasons said that I'm unhappy. None of those reasons said that I want to break free because this is a torturous thing. So I don't advocate divorce. Let me be very clear on this platform that I don't advocate divorce. You don't get a divorce with a person you don't eat on the table with. You don't get divorced with a person just because opening a beer bottle is not a shared hobby. You don't get divorced to a person whose mother-in-law is not as nice to you and she tells you to wear a red and you want to wear a yellow. You don't get divorced on these reasons. You get divorced on abuse. You get divorced on beaten black and blue. You get divorced on violence. You get divorced on crime. You get divorced on child abuse. Those are the issues to get divorced on. And that woman was clearly suffering from, if not one, at least many of those. It quenched my heart and it made me to think that this is really not the right thing to do. I know her still. She hasn't got off her husband yet. She's still struggling with the same emotions. But that one incident made me who I am today. That one incident hurted me so much that I decided to be a divorce monk. That is something that I never expected in life. And then all of a sudden, I was a single mother. And when you are a single mother, you're attacked from every possible direction. We all say we are staying in an educated society, and every one of us have liberal thoughts and open minds and beautiful experiences around us. But when it comes to certain things in the society, we are still not awake. So I was a single mother. I was questioned when I was changing Kabir's school that will you be able to pay Kabir's school fee? Why? Because I'm a single mother. When I wanted to go out for a job, people used to tell me that you can't go out for a job, we can't hire you because you're a single mother. You would have to go at 2 o'clock, you would have to go at 4 o'clock, you would have to deal with things on your own. How will you manage the company responsibility? And then there were people who told me that they'll give me a job if I'm ready to mingle with them. That's the life of a single mother. I got a job in a great MNC with great people, great pay package. I told them I'll join in from Monday. Fabulous job, super happy. For the first time after my divorce, I felt like my dreams are coming true. Things will change, and this is where the things will change from. I go on a Monday, and then I go on a Tuesday, just to know that I'm fired. I was fired in 24 hours for a simple reason because my ex had more influence on them than me. I was back to ground zero, and then I was referred to the company that I currently work with. They took me in, they understood my problems, my challenges in life, the things that I'm going through. They treated me like I was a goddess who was trying to fight and fighting a war against so many different things at the same time. I still work with them. I still work with them, and I'm so proud to be associated with people like those. There are just so many things that I want to say every time that I start talking about this. Whether it is men or women, whether it is a broken heart or whether it is a divorce, you are going to have your heart broken an umpteenth number of times. There's not going to be a count to it. But what you are going to do with that broken heart is going to decide how your life is going to be. I decided to be a rock star, and here I am. What are you going to decide to be? What do you expect from the unexpected? Is a question that you need to ask. We have nothing, clearly nothing to lose from the unexpected. In whichever and whatever way and form that this unexpected comes, it's a gift. It is a gift. And for all the people who think that they are broken-hearted and their ex did not do it right, I have a song for all of you, and I would love if you would sing it with me. And it goes like, if you're happy and you know it, thank your ex. If you're happy and you know it, thank your ex. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, thank your ex. Thank you guys.